Hello and welcome to our channel, Cheating Exposed. Today, we're revealing another story. My husband is cheating on me with our best friend. So, let's get started. I recently found out that my husband, 42, is cheating on me with our married best friend, 32F. She is the godmother to our 4 children. They don't know that I know, but I caught them making out at the end of our driveway when he was seeing her off after dinner with our family. We live on a small acreage, and the driveway is a long way off from the main house. She had forgotten some crockery at the house, and I decided to walk it over because, for some reason, the two of them always took a while to say goodbye. Now I know why. That's when I saw them lit by her car's headlights, making out in the front seat, with our best friend straddling my husband. In shock, I didn't know whether to throw her Pyrex at the car or just walk away. I decided on the latter and was too stunned to cry or be angry. When my husband got back, I had to pretend like everything was normal. I know it's stupid, but I couldn't sleep that night and decided to go through his phone. She was obviously saved under a pseudonym, but I found a handful of their messages dating back 2 or 3 years. Her husband doesn't know, he's currently posted overseas as a diplomat. I'm sick with rage and betrayal. I feel lost and have no idea what steps to take next. Just to clarify a few things, this is a private account I created just for this post, away from my usual account, because I was scared it would be traced back to me. I want to remain as anonymous as I can. I don't live in the US, but in Australia. Technically, I can't file for divorce immediately, as you need to be separated for 1 year and 1 day to file officially. My now ex-best friend recently returned to the country because her father has cancer. She had been posted overseas with her husband. The dinner was meant to welcome her home, and what a welcome it was. There are some comments here about the headlights illuminating them. Sorry, I actually meant the overhead lights. As for what I'm going to do now, a part of me just wants to confront my husband and see what lame excuse he comes up with. But I need to get away from him. This level of betrayal physically hurts. I can't help but think about all the times we spent together over the years and how long our families were fooled. My mind is going crazy, remembering when she was single and my husband would rescue her from some bad date. All the times they were alone in my house when the kids and I were out. I'm haunted by how irrationally angry he was when he found out she had a boyfriend, and then when she chose to marry him. Thinking back on it, they even disappeared during her wedding. When I asked him where he was, he said he needed to reassure her that she had done the right thing. I feel so sick thinking of these moments. As of tomorrow, my husband will be out of town. I've been trying really hard to act normal around my now ex-best friend, but it's getting increasingly difficult. I feel nauseous just being around her. I've been telling both of them that I've caught some terrible bug and just don't feel like myself. While my husband is away for the next few days, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife and the only other person who knows, will help me pack important documents and store them somewhere my husband doesn't know about. I've arranged for my kids to stay with her and my brother for a week while I sort myself out. I've spoken to a family lawyer, and they've advised that the best way to start the separation process is to no longer live under the same roof. I'm fortunate that most of our assets are in my name, and the land our house is on was gifted to us by my parents. I'm planning to kick him out after his trip. But before that, I want to catch them both in the act again. I need some hard proof, not just for myself, but so I can send it to my ex-friend's husband and finally get the ball rolling on moving forward with my life. I'll update with what happens after the confrontation. First update. 2 nights ago, my husband came home from his trip. While he was gone, I took the time to organize everything, important documents like financial records, birth certificates, and passports, anything he might try to use to get more than he deserves. These are now safely stored. My kids have been staying with their aunt and uncle for the past few days. I had packed all my husband's belongings. He's been careful about covering his tracks because I didn't find any evidence of his affair in his stuff. I placed everything in the garage, ready for the confrontation. I was super nervous, second-guessing whether I was making the right decision. But when he came home and I saw his face, I remembered the pain of catching him with her. That hurt gave me clarity. When he walked into the kitchen, he knew immediately something was wrong. I had been distant all week, barely answering his texts and screening his calls. I did respond occasionally so the kids could speak to their dad, but that was it. He asked why I hadn't been responding and tried to kiss me, but I turned away. Before I could stop myself, the words just came out, "I want a separation." He didn't look surprised. Instead, he nodded and asked, "What do you know?" That response hit me like a punch in the gut. I was expecting a denial or at least an excuse. Instead, I asked him to tell me everything. That's when he admitted it. He told me it started 10 years ago, flirty messages and a sneaky kiss at the office when they briefly worked together. The affair was on and off over the years. She always felt guilty, he said, and tried to fix that guilt by marrying the first man who proposed to her. He confessed they had sex on her wedding day and continued meeting whenever he was out of town. I couldn't breathe. I was sobbing uncontrollably. The word slipped out, "Did you even love me?" He hesitated, then said, "Yes, of course. But not in the same way I love her." That broke me. I cleared my throat and told him he needed to come clean to her husband. "There's no point hiding it anymore," I said. I also told him all his belongings were in the garage and he needed to find somewhere else to stay. I let him know I'd spoken to a family lawyer and that we would only discuss future arrangements for the kids when I was ready. Any further communication, I said, could go through my brother or sister-in-law. He would be allowed to see the kids, but only at their house. I also made it clear that I'm seeking full custody because the pain of giving him anything more right now is unbearable. He agreed to everything because he knew he was in the wrong. He tried to apologize, but I snapped. I screamed, "No. No way are you sorry. For 10 years, you and her have deceived everyone we know. Take your shit, leave, and tell that woman you've been screwing for a decade that I never want to see her face again." It wasn't my proudest moment, but it was the culmination of weeks of anger and pain. I have no intention of speaking to my ex-best friend or my soon-to-be ex-husband until I've had time to grieve. 1 year on update. It's been a whirlwind of a year, painful, yes, but also filled with growth. The divorce is final, and I am free. As no surprise to anyone, my ex-husband and ex-best friend are now officially in a relationship. After her husband found out about the affair, he divorced her. Since then, he and I have met up for coffee a few times to check in on each other and support our mental health. He's been incredibly kind, sending me encouraging messages, and I'm happy to see him thriving. He moved overseas and, based on his Facebook updates, has started dating again. It genuinely warms my heart to see him moving on and finding happiness. The legal battles and custody arrangements were stressful, but thankfully, my ex-husband agreed to most of my terms. The only thing he really fought for was custody of the kids. Ultimately, I was granted custody, and he has visitation on weekends. The kids and I, along with my ex-husband, have all been going to therapy individually. During school breaks, the kids have the option to stay with him, and they usually spend about a week or so with him before returning home to me. I've been careful to keep communication with my ex strictly necessary. While I've done my best to move forward, it still hurts deeply. I know it'll take time to heal completely, but I'm focusing on letting go because I refuse to let them continue influencing my life. This past year, I made the big decision to sell the house we once shared. I've moved closer to family and friends because, as they say, it takes a village. I can't express how grateful I am for the love and support I've received. Writing this now has me tearing up, knowing I couldn't have come this far without my loved one standing by me. As for myself, I'm doing okay, still a work in progress, but I'm learning to embrace life again. The kids and I have been making the most of our time together. Whenever we can, we take little trips to create happy memories, road trips, adventures, and moments that can replace the painful echoes of the past. I want the memories they carry to be filled with laughter and love, knowing their mom will always be there for them. Overall, I'm happy. I'm grateful for life, even with its challenges. It hasn't been easy, but we're moving forward, one day at a time. Well, folks, that's all. Thank you all for listening. Please like, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.